What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Brennan Mejia here, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Charge. Today's video is going to be about the top 10 worst Power Rangers characters according to WatchMojo.com. Now, I usually don't agree with Watch Mojo's list when they put my season in a bad light, but it's always fun just to add commentary to someone else's commentary. Let's get into it. All right, so I don't know. I haven't watched this before. I don't even know if I'll remember all of the characters because it's been a long time since I've seen every single Power Rangers. In fact, I don't think I've seen every single Power Rangers. Anyway, I've seen a lot of it. But yeah, let's watch it and see what happens, and we'll pause and see what we feel, and let me know what you guys think in the comments if we agree or if we don't.
Not every character is a more phenomenal success.
Oh, it looks like they're not including just Power Rangers.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst Power Rangers characters.
I barely remember that.
Before we begin,
That's funny.
we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content.
Do they really make a video every
We'll
day?
be looking at Rangers, villains, and allies alike who were unlikable, had terrible characterization, wasted potential, barely contributed to the plot, or were just kind of annoying. We also decided on a set limit of 2 entries per series because honestly, some of these seasons' casts were so bad they could have filled the whole list.
That's mean.
Hey kid, why don't you take a picture with something?
I almost didn't do a react video to this because I don't like negativity. So I'm gonna watch it and just be like, as best I can, kind about it, because I don't want to be like, yeah, they really were horrible, because that's not nice.
Last longer.
Number 10, Norg, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
Yeah, it's short for.
I mean, he's a Yeti. Okay, let's see the reason they say he's bad. If it's nothing against the actor per se, or is it just like the writing or whatever?
No.
There's two
Okay, that was
scenes.
kind of
There's
annoying.
bumbling, and then there's Norg. Norg is a Yeti living in the cave that Flurious takes over, and thus becomes Flurious' servant, though Norg sees it as making new friends. Unfortunately, his bumbling and naive nature can often come off as kinda cringeworthy more than lovable, especially when he has a voice like Big the Cat. If you don't understand that reference, don't.
I don't.
It'll be a priceless diamond.
Despite all that, Norg's completely harmless, and has helped the Rangers a few times, mostly because of his friendly nature and his gullibility. After being disowned by his so-called friend in the finale, Norg redeems himself by rescuing Tyzon's girlfriend. But why did he need redemption?
Tyzon,
He
Cameron!
wasn't even that evil. Come on, stupid Yeti.
Seems that
I said Cameron, I mean Dwayne Cameron. I mean, I was half right. My brain just went Cameron. That'd be like someone going, yo, Mejia, which I guess is accurate still. Anyway.
Yeti fought off half a dozen chillers and saved her.
Okay, they didn't really say anything bad other than he was annoying. I mean, I guess he could be annoying, but I wouldn't say he was a bad character just from that specifically.
Number 9,
Anyway.
Mentor G, Power Rangers Samurai and Super Samurai.
It pains me to say it, but I don't think you're truly ready to become a samurai.
While he's not the worst mentor, we'll get to that later, G is
Go say it.
really good at his job. We know next to nothing about G aside that he's experienced in symbol training, is apparently Jaden's guardian, and has a motorcycle because his actor previously portrayed Emperor Grum on SPD.
That's cool. I like how certain Ranger actors, or even just, he wasn't a Ranger himself, I guess, but characters in Power Rangers, they got a chance to play multiple people. I think it would be cool to come back one day as like a villain myself. That'd be pretty epic. You know, just saying.
And yet, Grum seemed more likable. G's mentoring includes showing favoritism towards Jaden, forcing someone to get over their trauma, and taking Antonio's morpher away.
I auditioned for Antonio and Samurai. Fun fact, if you didn't know, Power Ranger Samurai was the first audition for Power Rangers that I had before I ended up auditioning a couple of years later for Dino Charge. So I almost wore gold. I had several callbacks. Like, it wasn't just one and done. I almost booked the role.
Because he wasn't properly trained as a samurai like the others, even though he's already proved himself on the battlefield. Come on.
If you don't have the training,
But I do. Look, sure I did it by myself, but I can hold my own out there and you saw it.
At this point, we believe that a guinea pig turned sensei can mentor better than G ever could.
I'm impressed.
yes, Jaden's one of the best that's ever been.
I was talking about Kevin.
Number 8, Animus / Kite, Power Rangers Wild Force.
Talking about Kevin.
What am I supposed to remember?
I look like a Megazord
There's
talking to
being
him from the
environmentally
sky.
conscious, and then there's being a friggin' hypocrite. Animus is the godlike Megazord destroyed by Master Org 3,000 years ago. Though his spirit helped the Rangers several times, his reincarnation totally ruins his character. He returns disguised as a little boy named Kite, who befriends the Rangers, but quickly flips out over pollution.
Be quiet. A kid shouldn't talk like that.
It doesn't matter whether you're a kid or an adult. This is important.
Convinced that humanity isn't worth saving, Animus reveals himself and takes away the Wild Zords, aka the only thing that helps protect the Earth. Duh.
But how can we ever defeat the orcs without our Zords?
That is your problem. not ours.
He does give them back in the next episode, claiming that it was a test to see if you guys were dedicated or something. And this is despite already showing their dedication like a dozen times already. Seriously, this self-righteous act destroys any sympathy we potentially could have had for what happens later.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember that series very well. But yeah, I get it. There's a lot of movies and TV shows that revolve around some kind of entity giving up on humanity because humans tend to kind of be horrible, as a whole when viewed from afar. Like Ultron, Avengers, he's like, humanity doesn't need to live, we'll destroy them all. He's not the only one to feel that way. And even other humans feel that way sometimes, unfortunately. But I like to believe in the best in people, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like in episode 2 of this little story arc, he also decided to believe in us again. But yeah, it's always an interesting story to tell if done well. I think it gives you a lot to work with because you could be like, well, humanity does this, which is horrible. And then you have on the other side of the spectrum, well, humanity does X, Y, Z, which is not horrible. He was also at the Anime Vegas convention. I realized that was from a different video I said that. Yeah, so I was at I was at Anime Las Vegas Comic-Con last weekend, and there's a bunch of Power Rangers there in like a little Power Ranger area. So Jessica and Philip were there as well from Wild Force. I always want to say Jungle Fury because they're both animal themed and I get confused in my brain between the two sometimes.
Number 7, Sam, Power Rangers SPD.
This isn't the first time we've met.
So this is the first Ranger that they're saying is not a good character. The others were like other characters in Power Rangers, but an actual Power Ranger. But why? Teleportation! Or turn into a ball, fly away. That's not teleportation, I guess.
Because of his teleportation powers. She knows the feeling. He says that one day...
Oh, was that teleportation?
And it turns out...
If you get turned into a ball of light and fly away, you're not teleporting, right? Because you're flying, just you transformed. It'd be like a vampire turning into a bat and then flying away. They didn't teleport. They just turned into a different thing that could fly.
He was right on the ball. Later in the series, an older Sam from the future travels to the present to aid the team as the Omega Ranger.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, the journey turns him into a glowing ball of light when he's unmorphed. So, proper character interaction is slim to none.
Okay, that's gonna take some getting
So he wasn't teleporting, he was just flying around as himself.
used to.
While Sam is a much-needed ally with his own Megazord and futuristic morpher, he has absolutely no character development whatsoever. He's just kind of there.
See you around, guys.
Wait.
Sam!
Number 6, Troy Burrows, Power Rangers Megaforce, and...
That's weird. So that sounds like they got an actor to just voice the Omega Ranger, and then they had a stunt person being the Suit Ranger, and then they had no one to pay to play the civilian outside of the suit, unless he becomes a Ranger for real later, getting his body back.
Super Megaforce.
Follow my lead. It's morphin' time.
The 20th anniversary seasons have had very split reactions from fans, and part of the blame comes from the Red Ranger. Troy is the new kid in town, and has recurring dreams about the upcoming legendary battle. He is chosen to be the Red Ranger simply because he's met with adversity. Not that we know what said adversity is. On top of a bland character, we also have bland acting.
Dreams are the things humans wish for and believe in. They are the goals each of us hope to achieve.
The actor Andrew Gray, who's actually a professional model, is always brooding, barely showing any emotion, and delivering his lines.
He was also at Anime Vegas.
The actual robot that's in this season.
Moon Knight! You have a mission to fulfill!
Troy is living proof that a model's looks don't really hold up without good acting or writing.
Super Mega Rangers?
See, I don't know. I knew Megaforce would be thrown on this list because a lot of people love to hate Megaforce, and I understand some of the criticism, but I don't think they're as bad as people claim they are. Again, a lot of this is not just the writing, but also when you're filming something, you do multiple takes per scene, and you're not in control of which one they use for the episode. There were scenes for Dino Charge that I recorded, and they picked one that I didn't like for multiple episodes. And I was like, I recorded that way better and acted it, or whatever you want to call it. I performed it better. And for whatever reason, someone in the editing room went with the version that I personally didn't like. It may have been because if it's a two-shot, me and another actor, the other actor was better in that particular scene and the other one was too much of a contrast. So they'll pick the worst one for one actor, but it's better for the other actor, or the lighting could have been better, or maybe the sound didn't record well, or there's so many reasons. But I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that it's not that they're just bad actors. You may just be getting a scene or a specific rendition where they weren't directed in a good way, or they were directed in a way that wasn't good. That happened to me in Dino Charge. There was an episode where I wanted to play it a certain way and the director flat out told me not to. And I just didn't feel like it made sense for my character, or it made sense in general for how someone would react in that scene. And I'm not gonna say which one it is. You guys can put in the comments what you think it was, but I feel for him because I get not being able to necessarily be able to perform the way you think and know is best intuitively. Now, maybe some of it was his choices, I don't know, but I'm just saying again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's a super mega win.
And stop saying that, God. Number 5, Richie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, going back old school.
Who's that? Oh, that's Richie. He's the new kid in school.
Honestly, Ranger fans, we don't blame you if you don't remember Richie.
I don't remember Richie.
He's the new kid in Angel Grove working for Ernie at the youth center. He was friendly enough to everyone, especially Trini, and he made a perfect red herring for the White Ranger, although we all know that it was Tommy, come on. However, after Trini's actress quit the series, Richie just disappeared.
Oh no!
Not to be seen or mentioned again. We'll only remember Richie as wasted potential.
Do you want to join us?
Thanks, but I can't. I gotta get home. Man, we're still unpacking from the move.
Number 4.
What made him a bad character though? I don't understand. Just that they wrote him off the show and Trini's actor left? I don't know. To me, that doesn't make you a bad character per se. Just that is, they couldn't fit you in anymore since you were probably supposed to be someone's love interest who was no longer there.
Justin Stewart, Power Rangers Turbo.
Guys, I'm the new Blue Ranger. Isn't that cool or what?
Justin is a 12-year-old prodigy in high school, just go with it, who finds out who the Rangers actually are and is recruited by Zordon to take the injured Rocky's place as the Blue Turbo Ranger. Despite the...
Okay, I had such an issue with how they injured Rocky. He was fighting or warming up in a ring, and during the warm-up, he jumped too high and fell out of the ring and hurt himself. And I'm like, that makes so little sense. I mean, if you want to say he got hurt in some other way, like a car accident, or someone pushed him, or he was fighting a monster and saved someone, not let's throw him under the bus to make him non-heroic with how he gets demoted in a sense. And then, I don't know, it was a ridiculous setup to me. But I liked Justin as a kid. I thought it was super cool that a kid was a Power Ranger, because at the time I was a kid, I was like, I want to be a Power Ranger too, which I did become later, but not while I was a kid. Although I did not like the Power Rangers Turbo movie because it was too slow paced, and I'm not really here for the car themed Power Ranger seasons. I'm sorry, it's not my thing. But it wasn't something against him specifically.
Age gap with his teammates, Justin is actually a competent Ranger, being one of the first to act when Divatox is at large.
Divatox!
While Justin himself isn't bad, the concept of a younger kid being a Ranger in a sea of teenagers is pretty stupid, come on. The pandering to the younger audience didn't help either, considering that kids already gravitated towards teenagers as heroes since the show's beginning. So why did you even need a 12-year-old Power Ranger, right?
Justin, you need some help over the...
See, I don't know. Again, like some of the reasons it's fun for me to react to Watch Mojo is because I tend to not agree with them. It's not just like, yeah. It's, I get what they're saying. Like if it's not broken, don't fix it. But there's also nothing wrong with trying something new. So Nintendo, my favorite video game company, does a lot of things right and does a lot of things not necessarily the best way, in my opinion, with like their online play and not, caring about graphics often, but they care about the IP. They care about the games. The games are super fun, even if they're not the most realistic looking games. Power Rangers, yeah, you could argue they could just follow along with what they've been doing. And yeah, kids like adults to look up to, but kids also like being inspired by other kids. So seeing a kid that's a hero to me is cool. So I don't necessarily agree. And if you don't like that they took that risk, that's okay. He was in Turbo, and then, he grew up himself, and then they had other Rangers continuing to be adults again, so it wasn't like a forever thing. Megaforce, they weren't technically adults, they were high schoolers, which technically are not adults, right? So it just depends on the season. Some are very adult, like SPD or RPM, and then Dino Charge, some of us were like just graduating high school. I think our Green Ranger was supposed to be 16. My character was 18. So again, it runs the spectrum of ages, and to pick on him specifically because he was a kid, like as the issue, I thought, again, I liked it. You know, same with Nintendo releasing cool things and then sometimes not things I necessarily thought made sense, but they take risks and it's cool because then it pushes it forward because then you find what works and you take out what doesn't. Yeah.
No, I don't need help. Help!
Number 3, Gosei, Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce.
Yeah, Gosei. I don't like Gosei either.
Placed me here to be guardian of this planet.
Being the 20th anniversary, Megaforce and Super Megaforce saw fit to introduce another Zordon-like mentor, and that concept ultimately backfired. Meet Gosei, Zordon's supposed protege, something that he only briefly mentioned.
The head on the wall.
Once. He was brought here as the guardian of the Earth and would only awaken when Earth was under great threat. So where was he for the last 20 years? Don't ask us.
There's a simple
I agree, because the Earth was under great threat multiple times. It's not that my issue with Gosei is what he looks like or what he does or as a mentor. It's there's plot holes with his writing with, again, like, I will only awaken when Earth is in danger. Okay, well, it was in danger a lot. And then later when, I bet they're going to say the line right now, why did I turn into the Black Ranger instead of the Green? There's a logical explanation. And then they just don't tell you because the writers didn't write a reason, which to me, again, doesn't make sense.
for that.
Not only is his backstory kind of vague, but rather than offer words of wisdom like his mentor, Gosei just hands out new weapons and Zords like lottery tickets, which is cool, but, you know, that's not characterization, is it?
Your bravery has earned you this new power.
He gives one last half-hearted pep talk in the finale and is never seen again. Super mega good riddance.
This is our docket.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, here, your bravery gives you the ability to fight monsters better, because, you know, if we gave it to you too early, the monsters would have lost too quickly and we wouldn't have had as many episodes as we do. I like there being logical reasons why new Zords come. I like in Dino Charge, it's when we found a new Ranger, they bonded to a new Energem, and then we got a new Zord. Or someone made a Zord or something. You know, it wasn't just like, because you guys were good boys and good girls, here's a new toy to play with. Like, that doesn't make sense.
But I have faith in you.
Number 2, Dax Low, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
I don't remember a lot of Overdrive.
Perfect or what?
There are plenty things wrong with Operation Overdrive. One of the biggest things being Dax, the Blue Ranger. Everything is like a movie to Dax, mostly because he worked as a Hollywood stuntman wanting to be a movie star and wishes to be more appreciated. If only there was anything to appreciate about him.
Out of all the monsters that have tried to pulverize
I understand doing stunts, but we'll see.
us, he was definitely the most sensitive.
He acts as comic relief, or tries to, with his shtick being constantly mugging, painfully overacting, and making really stupid jokes.
If Mac doesn't come back, can I have the Sonic Streaker?
Like the majority of the team, Dax will want to give it up, but he does come back eventually. He also has almost no character development, except for wanting to be a director in the finale. But don't bother asking why. It's because movies, right?
Yesterday's news, Mr. H. Now, I want to direct.
Before we unveil the worst of the worst, here are a few honorable mentions.
I don't know. I don't know enough about that character to really rank him myself. I get them putting in comic relief because they do it a lot in different seasons, and sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. But it also depends on what age range that particular season is kind of gearing towards, because there are more mature Power Ranger seasons and episodes, and then obviously there are some that cater more towards kids. I feel like Mighty Morphin was one of those that did a really good job at just, here's the show, and elements that you like as a kid can also be enjoyed by adults. And there are certain seasons where it's like, okay, I can't really watch this very long for cringeworthy reasons throughout the whole thing. But then there are gems that you find in every season. Some easier to find, some harder. But yeah, it depends on your personality too. Different people like different things. So maybe his jokes didn't land with the Watch Mojo narrator person, but they would have with you or me. I don't know. I don't remember that season very well, so.
Well, if it isn't the Power Rangers.
I knew that it was just a matter of...
Okay, I mean, I thought he was fine.
Send the entire army if necessary.
He sounds like he's underwater.
Yep.
I remember the actor for Spike. I met him at the Samurai auditions because I was auditioning for Power Ranger Samurai at one point, and I was so bummed and jealous when he got the role and I didn't get to go to New Zealand. Not that he was auditioning for a Power Ranger per se, but I just wanted to be a part of Power Rangers in some form. And I met him again at an audition when he came back from filming New Zealand. I was like, how was filming? He's like, oh, it was so amazing. It was like time of my life. And again, I was like, man, I wish I could have been on Power Rangers. And then lo and behold, a few years later, I got to be on Dino Charge. So basically, don't count yourself out. You know, it's not over till it's over. So even if you don't make it the first time, you may make it another time. And even after the 30th anniversary, everyone's like, oh, well, now they're not doing Power Rangers anymore after the Netflix deal fell through. But now with Disney Plus apparently going to be the new home for Power Rangers going forward, who knows? Maybe some of you watching this will be Power Rangers yourselves.
Just like his father.
Number 1, Diva Talks, Power Rangers Turbo.
The Power Rangers will pay dearly. Their beloved Earth will become mine.
You know you got it bad when Rita Repulsa tells you off. Diva Talks is the evil-powered queen who wants to conquer the Earth. Why? Because the
When Rita tells you off.
wedding with a volcano monster. Yep, she's that petty. Not only that, but her army, especially her bumbling nephew, are pretty pathetic. And on top of that, her plans are completely moronic.
I'm so brilliant.
For the first half of the season, she would frequently plant bombs all over the city, but would always give them long timers to allow the Rangers to find and defuse them. The most frustrating part, despite her petulance, idiocy, and pitiful lackeys, she's the villain that ultimately destroys the power chamber. Embarrassing, right?
Bye-bye, Ranger.
She didn't give him a long enough timer that time.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out.
So, yeah, she's not that season isn't my favorite. Again, I don't care for car themes that much, just because I just don't. I like when they're sentient Zords more linked to like animals. In our season, you know, the Dino Charge, Megazords, Dinozords, whatever you want to call them, they could move and act on their own. And yeah, I liked the element connected to nature. And with Turbo and RPM and some of the others, not that they didn't have cool things outside of the Zords, but I don't know, something about, I just didn't grow up a car guy. It just wasn't my thing. So even aside from her being an issue, I wouldn't put her number 1. I feel like some of the other things on the list should have had that place over her. But I could see that personality doesn't vibe and get annoying. But I thought she was acting well enough. It's just that type of character is kind of just annoying in general, not that it could have been less annoying with someone else being that character, if you wanted that character to be like the character is written. But whatever. What do you guys think? What would you put as your top 10 worst Power Ranger characters? Comment below and make sure for more awesome videos to click this next.